but I will get electrocuted. Long time lurker, first time posting. I currently work for a media solutions company that primarily deals with VDS panels, basically, a TV that only displays assigned media content from our servers, and media players connected to digital displays in movie theaters and bars. Earlier this year we had a movie theater that was having issues with 3 of its media players connecting to the location's network. After exhausting all level 1 troubleshooting over the phone with the location, we decided to send out a tech to perform on-site troubleshooting. Fast forward to 2 days later, tech is on-site and calls into support for instructions/directions on what to do. Yes, it was included in his work order, but reading has now become a lost art apparently. The call is transferred to me by a T1 agent, as T2 and above are the only agents that can deal with network issues with any location. The people in this call are as follows: me, obviously me, tech on-site TSE, higher support. The call went as follows: me, thank you for calling company, I work at tech support, my name is me, how can I help you? Tech, yes, this is tech at job ID 1,234,567 calling in for further instructions on why I am here. Pulls up ticket. Me, yes, this location seems to be having issues with 3 of their media players connecting to the network. Tech, how do you know? All their displays are playing or displaying content and movie trailers/posters. Me, we cannot access the media players remotely and are showing they have been offline for 3 days now. Also, our media players will still display content for 30 days even while they are offline, but once that content schedule expires, the media player will default to a black screen or the company logo, and the display will eventually power itself off due to inactivity. Tech, oh, do you know where the media players are located? Me, yes, all of our media players are installed in the network room in the ISP network rack. Ask the manager on duty to take you to the network room. Tech, the manager said they don't have a network room. I am now thankful this isn't a video call because my facial expressions are a dead giveaway of my frustrated confusion. Me, what? Are you sure you are talking to the manager and not the box office attendant? After a brief pause, tech, oh hold on, the kid I was just talking to is going to get the GM. Me, perfect. As you can tell, this is already going downhill and I've only been on the phone for less than 5 minutes sometimes. I wonder where my company finds some of the 1,099 techs to work some of our jobs. Tech, okay, I am in the network room, but there are 5 different racks in here with thousands of network cables running everywhere. Me, is there a rack that has an SX network label on the top? Long pause. And all I can hear is clicking like someone is sending a text message. Me, hello, are you still there, tech? Oh sorry, my wife was texting me about our dinner plans. Yes, he actually told me that and continued to finish his text message before answering my question. Me, okay, do you see a rack labeled SX network? Tech, yes, it has 7 square boxes all with different labels. Me, do you see the following 3 media players: SX1, SX2, SX3? Tech, yes, the SX1 player, the network cable is broken, RJ45 clip and just hanging, and the SX2 and SX3 players do not have any network cables attached at all. Me, okay, let's see if we can locate the SX2 and 3 players network cable. Do you see any random unplugged Ethernet cables directly around the SX2 and SX3 players? I now start praying to the tech gods that the 2 network cables that are unplugged are the only 2 that are unplugged, and that we are not facing a ball of cable spaghetti where we are going to have to figure out what cable goes where. Tech, I found 2 network cables. They are the only 2 I see, but the clips are also broken off the RJ45 end. Me, perfect, looks like we are going to replace the 3 RJ45 ends and reconnect the cables to all 3 players. Tech, okay, I'm going to have to go find the GM again because I'm going to need to locate the breaker box to cut the power to the entire theater to replace those RJ45 ends. After a brief pause, me, what? Thinking I misheard what the tech just said. Tech, I'm going to have to go find the GM because I'm going to need to locate the breaker box to cut the power to the entire theater to replace those RJ45 ends. I can't cut the ends off of those cables with the power on or I will be electrocuted. At this point, I realize I had heard him correctly the first time and I am not crazy. Tech, hello. Me, ooh. Your chances of being electrocuted by cutting Ethernet cables to replace the RJ45 ends are extremely low. Ethernet cables are only 48 volts DC, which is not a true electrocution hazard. The GM isn't going to let you cut the power off to the whole theater while customers are currently watching movies. You can cut and replace the cable without cutting the power to the entire theater. Tech, no. I will be electrocuted and I'm not dying so a movie theater can display digital menus and posters. Me, we are not asking the GM to cut the power to the entire theater to fix the RJ45 end. You can trace the Ethernet cable back to the modem or hub and disconnect it from the other end, and then there will be zero risk of electrocution while cutting the cable to repair it. Tech: no, it's not even worth fixing an old cable. Too much effort for questionable results. All 3 cables will need to be replaced. Head meets desk. Me: do you have 3 20-feet Ethernet cables that can be used to replace the existing cables? Tech: no. Me: okay, so we will need to replace the RJ45 ends. Tech: yeah, I don't feel safe doing that. You will need to send a new tech to replace the 3 cables cable because I'm not getting electrocuted replacing those ends. Me: if you unplug the cable at the other end there is zero risk of electrocution. Tech: yeah, I'm not doing that. At this point, I am ready to yeet myself off a cliff. Thinking on the fly, I remember a temporary fix I have used at home when I didn't have a replacement RJ45 end. I needed to get these players online to push updates for the weekend release of 3 major movies, even if it was just long enough to update the 3 players. Me: do you by chance have 3 rubber bands? Tech: yeah. Me: okay, can you take 1 rubber band and wrap it around the broken RJ45 ends on each cable and plug them back into the media player? Tech: yay, but I don't see the point. Me: I just need to get these players online long enough to push the updates for 3 major movies opening this weekend. After that, I could care less if they stay online until I can send another tech to replace the RJ45 ends. While I wait for the tech to attach the rubber bands to the broken RJ45 ends, I send my higher support a Teams message. Me: so the tech at job 1,234,567 is refusing to replace the RJ45 ends on the Ethernet cables because he will be electrocuted. He does not have 3 20-feet replacement cables and will only replace the RJ45 ends if he can cut the power off at the breaker to the entire theater. TSE: am I having a stroke? Me: nope, haha. TSE: did you tell him to unplug it from the other end and the chance he will be electrocuted goes to 0? Me: I now think I'm having a stroke? You realize who you talking to, right? Of course, I did, and he refused and stated he would only replace the ends if he could cut the power to the entire theater. I am having him place rubber bands on the broken RJ45 ends, plug them back in, and I will dispatch a company tech to replace the RJ45 ends next week. TSE: the rubber band trick that should work until we can revisit. Also, code that tech and make dispatch aware that this tech is to never be assigned to any of our jobs again. Me: already done. Tech: okay, all 3 media players have the cables plugged back in. Me: okay, get your sign-off sheet from the GM and email it to company@work.org and I will get you checked out and cleared from the site. Tech: okay, while I was waiting for the tech sign-off paperwork, I pulled up the location's media players in Splashtop and all the players were online. I pushed the updates to the 3 players, and they started downloading. The tech sends in his sign-off sheet and I close out the work order, making sure to notate in the notes for dispatch to never assign this tech to any of my department's jobs again. I open a new dispatch ticket and make sure to notate to only assign a company tech to this job. I happened to be off the day the tech was back at the location, but they repaired the 3 broken RJ45 ends and the network issues were resolved. No, they were not electrocuted and did not cut the power to the entire theater to do so.